all things intermittent fasting. One of the questions we had in our 90-day life transformation boot camp, one of the weeks we covered fasting and meditation, specifically intermittent fasting. And a question was, I just don't know what to eat when I break my fast. And so I'm like, you know what? We need to do a video on that. Mm-hmm. And so Nicole is a nutrition coach, and she is very well versed in intermittent fasting. And so she's gonna tell us what you're gonna prepare.
We're gonna have salmon, rice, and vegetables. And it's super simple. I am the most super simple cook ever, so believe me.
Anybody can do it.
Any single person.
We're starting from scratch. So
right. We got nothing planned. We got
freezer.
Yep. Everything comes out of the freezer. Everything's the cheapest brand at the store. Everything stays in the freezer till I cook it, and we're gonna put everything in the oven, and the pot's frozen and ready to go.
And oven's not even on yet. So
yep.
let's start there.
We are gonna start with, and just read the directions. Just follow the back of the bag. So
who knew?
Because I don't know stuff. Salmon, and we're gonna preheat to 400.
Okay.
And I kind of know because this is legit. Like, I'm making my meal. So this is the stuff that I eat every day.
And it's pre-portioned?
Yep, pre-portioned, already cut. Open it up. And this is the kind I buy. It's just like Kroger, the cheap stuff at Kroger.
That's where I got it. But it's wild caught.
Yes.
Not farm raised. Don't get that crap.
Yes.
Get the wild caught.
Wild caught. Comes here and it's frozen, pre-cut. And all you need is a cookie sheet or foil.
Here you go.
And this is literally stuff that I do at home. So
Don't you need oil?
yeah, we'll get a spray.
Okay.
But we're just gonna use foil. You can use a cookie sheet. I use a cookie sheet at home and just take a bottle of olive oil and put it in the bottom of the cookie sheet, and then take a paper towel and kind of rub it around a little bit. Only because so the skin doesn't stick.
I've learned so much today in like 10 minutes talking with her. I'm not an overthinker, but apparently I overthink more than I
Yeah, and you shouldn't
know.
really.
Yeah.
All right, paper towel.
Oh, and I do have paper towels.
And just wipe that around. So the oven's preheating to 400. And don't put it in until the oven tells you it's ready.
Okay.
Let me make a little.
Here we go.
Yay! I've been so excited to meet Maddie, so.
Yes, there he is.
Yay!
Mighty Nab.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. He doesn't like fish thinking, right?
And just make like little ledges if you don't have a cookie sheet. Can you see that?
Oh, what? See?
Because I don't have fancy stuff. All of my stuff is old and been used and wore out. So we're just gonna put frozen salmon skin down, because if the skin sticks, not a big deal. But we don't want the fish to stick. So it's frozen, right? And we're gonna season it frozen and everything. Okay? So we got, and honestly, whatever kind of seasoning you like, use. I just got these out because I thought maybe, I've heard people use dill for salmon. I don't use it.
So who knew that you didn't have to defrost the salmon before you put seasoning on it? Am I the only one? I don't know.
And I'm really, this has just come from me trying it and it worked. So I just keep going with the simple life. So just any kind of seasoning. This is Italian, and I'm not even gonna use salt. And I'm just gonna put it on there.
Okay.
And cover it. You can never, in my opinion, never too much garlic, never too much seasoning. But look for like simple stuff. Lemon, we're gonna cut that in
So
half.
I heard that this stuff is stronger than like fresh. Is that correct? I mean, I think I heard that from watching one of the cooking shows.
Because it's been like activated.
Okay.
And even when you put it in your hands and kind of rub it together, it kind of activates the flavor more too. So, and then we're just gonna squeeze
That smells so good, that lemon. Look
on
at that.
top. All right, seeds are gone. And this is gonna go in the oven. I think the package says for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
So, it goes in.
It's on the middle rack.
All right,
Okay.
that's in, that's ready to go. So set a timer.
Here, I'll do one.
Okay, for 15 minutes. 15 minutes is like just a great to start time. So check it after 15 minutes, we'll see where we're at. Rice. So do the things that take the longest first. So we've got the salmon in, and then the rice is gonna take about 15 minutes. And with the rice, this is just what I like, but I actually get the white rice, and it's like super fast, and just read directions. It's just what I do. It works, so I just keep doing it. So, and
follow directions.
Yeah, and this is what I make every day, so I already know the measurements. So I'm gonna do 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water.
So does your husband eat like you? Or do you have to cook? Do you have to cook separate?
But he doesn't eat like a normal person. He eats, he's like a cat. When he's hungry, he asks for food.
Okay.
Don't bother me otherwise. So yeah, he will though. Like he'll try anything I ask him to try. So he's good in that way. But he does because I live a bowl life. Like all of my food goes in a bowl. I proportion it. I weigh it out, and I'm good to go. So all of this stuff, like I would cook I usually do 3 cups, and the whole salmon, and then 2 bags of frozen vegetables will last me and him at least 7 days.
Wow.
So the meat though, I try not to eat it after like 3 or 4 days, but that's not a problem for me.
Like chicken and...
Yeah.
Okay.
But usually in my fridge, it'll stay like 5 days, and I'll just kind of eat on it I'll do meat once a week. Rice will last me all week, and then I do veggies like 2 to 3 times a week because I eat a lot of vegetables and I like them fresher. So rice dry for 2 servings is a 1/2 cup, and then we're gonna do water 1 cup.
Okay.
Turn the burner on high. We're gonna do
you don't have water in there yet?
Nope.
Look at that. Rice. Okay, so there's no water in that pan. She's got it on. Burner's on.
1/2 cup of rice-ish.
She eyeballed that.
And then 1 cup of water.
And a pan with no water, and now she's putting in the water. There we go. And then once we get this going, we're gonna address the intermittent fasting, but
okay.
Go ahead.
So that's going, leave the lid off until it boils, and then put the lid on, and then take it off the heat.
Okay.
And that's it. And then that'll just sit while we do the rest.
Okay. The rest.
So that's boiling. And then
you need the vegetables?
Vegetables.
Okay.
And everything's frozen. So vegetables. And I legit, when I say I buy the cheapest, whatever, flavor brand, you get this for like $1.19, and the chopped broccoli is my favorite. Broccoli is $1, and literally my freezer is full of this, cauliflower, and broccoli. And that's it.
Does broccoli make you fart?
Not me.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like it, I think it was gassy.
I think a lot of,
Cauliflower make you fart?
somebody asked me about what to do if vegetables make you super gassy. It's the way, look at how you're cooking it, if you're eating it with a fat, because a fat will help it, and if you're drinking enough water. So like the idea of your guts is to keep things moving. So if you're hydrated and you eat a fat with it, it all helps everything kind of work through. Okay.
Okay.
Just a pan, and we're gonna, okay, so the rice is not boiling yet. We're gonna wait for a hard boil. That means you almost can't see the rice is boiling so much. Put the lid on it, and then we'll take it off. But we've sprayed the pan a little for the vegetables.
So literally 2 pans and foil.
Yep. Frozen vegetables in the pan. And I'm gonna season with the same seasonings I used for the fish. So same spice goes in there, and that's it.
This is my lunch, y'all. I'm so excited. I'll be breaking my fast with this. It's perfect.
Turn that on, we're gonna turn that on medium. Put a lid on that one. All right, lid on that. Rice is boiling. Lid goes on the rice. Rice goes off.
Okay, cool. Rice is off.
Rice is off. So rice is cooking.
Okay.
Rice is cooking, vegetables are now cooking, salmon's in the oven, and everything will be ready in like 13 minutes.
Okay. 8. That's the same
Oh,
8
yep.
minutes. Okay, so let's talk about intermittent fasting. Okay, so what got you into doing that?
In my mind, if I'm eating, and I used to eat really bad, and I would eat like whole pizzas by myself and just be really irresponsible with my food. But so if I'm eating at 10 o'clock at night heavy, I'm like, well, I need to give my body time to process through what I've put in there and then just eat when I'm hungry.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for years before it was really even a thing. And that's just kind of where my mind went with it.
Okay.
My mind kind of wraps around food a lot. So when I am like, God, I'm so full, you just want to give your body time enough. And that's the way I kind of thought. Like, I need to let my body figure out what it's doing with the food I just put in it before I put more in.
Right. And so speaking on the healing part of it, we covered this in week 5 of our coaching program, is I found it because I was sick with autoimmune, and it's literally the opposite of everything how I used to live my life. When I was competing in fitness and figure, my body had no time to heal at all because I was always putting food in my mouth. Because, and let me tell you, you can lose fat this way too, right? But your body's a self-healing organism, and when you eat, it has to divert the energy to digest the food versus healing your body. Amongst that, also, there's so many benefits to it. It's kind of like lines up with meditation, like the benefits of meditating also, but just keeping your body healthy, young, healed, no brain fog. Like, that's the first thing that I really noticed is brain fog. And
Vegetables are now on low.
Okay.
With the lid still on.
With 5 minutes left of the salmon. So anyways, so with that, I also, for me, what I found is there's no way I'm getting enough or that I'm overeating when you intermittent fast. Because there's some days that I usually eat at 2 o'clock. Like 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. is usually my first meal. Sometimes I don't want to eat because I feel so good. Like, I feel really good, tons of energy, clear mind when I intermittent fast.
I
But
haven't eaten yet today either.
okay,
My
cool.
first meal is usually around 1.
Yeah. So I think that the goal is just in case you only eat twice a day, you want to make sure that you're getting your macros in, right?
And everybody's different, and I wanted
What
to
are
mention.
macros? Tell them what macros
So
are.
macros are protein, carb, fat, and you always want to throw a vegetable in there. And I know you get carbs from vegetables, but it's not the same thing. There's 2 different kinds of carbs. There's high glucose and low glucose. So like your starchy, like our rice, is a higher glucose, or like a banana is a higher glucose. Lower glycose vegetables will last you longer, but the higher glucose is going to get in there, do its job, and then be done. So the more you eat of the lower glycose vegetables, it will last you longer.
This meal, let's cover that real quick, macros.
So we've got protein. I like to add fat to my meal. I don't like to cook with fat. So we've used...
But there's fat in the salmon,
yes,
right?
there's fat in the salmon. That's why I didn't really add much to that, because there's fat in the skin. I only think about it if you're adding fat while you cook, that takes less, because I like to eat a whole avocado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if I cook with fat, then I have to take away some of my avocado. So I don't cook with oils. So the salmon's got high protein, and salmon has the really good fat that you want.
Right, omega something.
The fatty acids.
Yes.
Yeah, so the salmon.
So you got your fat, your protein, and the salmon.
And then we've got some of the low glycogen vegetables, which is a carb, and then we've got the high glucose carb, which is the rice. So the rice is going to give you energy. The vegetables is going to keep you full. Yeah, keep you full.
That word.
And then the protein, of course, is what rebuilds, and the fat is what helps everything get absorbed. So those are macros.
Yes.
And you want a carb, a fat, a protein, and a veggie in every meal.
There you go. And so when intermittent fasting, there's no, it's like if you have any kind of food bondage, what I mean by that is if like that's where your go-to when you're having a bad day, you know, it's food. And so to really break that bondage is when it's having a different relationship with food, understanding food's for fuel, not for pleasure. And so it really helps you break free from that too, and thinking that you have to eat all the time to lose weight.
No, yeah.
Right?
Which you don't. And I also wanted to mention, because I'm like a food nerd and I don't read a lot, but when I do read, I'm like, man, that makes total sense. And it all makes sense. But so if you eat later in the day, so say sometimes I work second shift and my last meal is 10 or 11 p.m. I won't eat, because you're obviously fasting when you sleep, obviously, because you're not eating. But when I wake up, I usually don't, and I mean, eat when you're hungry. So if I wake up and I'm hungry, just eat. But then, once you get your body to the point of, hunger, you always want to start with a fat or a protein, because they work together and help your body recoup and absorb. Protein is the best. So if you're just starting intermittent fasting, just push your breakfast back. So like last night I ate.
And it can be an actual breakfast meal, break fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it all makes sense.
Yeah, if you want to have eggs and bacon at 2 p.m., then have eggs and bacon at 2 p.m.,
And all of the macros work together best. So don't think, well, I can't eat carbs, because I'm telling you, I have tried every single thing. I have tried every single diet, anything that you lay out in front of me, I've tried. I've tried the portion control, which is amazing, which is where I started. But you have to incorporate all of the things. And, it depends on your body. A lot of people can't have, carbs or certain kinds of carbs. But I feel like if you give up one food group, your body's not going to get the nutrients from that food group that it really needs. And then you have to replace it with something else.
Donuts are a food group.
I plan for those things.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
When you eliminate that stuff completely out of your life and then you go and do it,
it's worse.
You're sick. You're in the bathroom. So, we teach balance here. God made everything, including donuts, an easy eat. So,
just keep in your mind. So, when I go to a function, I know there's going to be more fat, because everybody cooks with more fat than I cook with. I know there's going to be more carbs because donuts and pizza. So just keep in your mind what you're eating. And if you're good with writing it down and journaling, then that's great. I've done it for so long; it's just in my head. So I know, what has more fat and what. Yeah.
Tell them what this is.
Those are garbanzo bean brownie cupcakes, and then the topping is peanut butter.
I'm breaking my fast right now.
And protein, there's protein in the garbanzo beans, there's protein in the eggs that are in there, and then you've got peanut butter on top and dates.
It's amazing.
Those are my favorite. I make those for every function.
It was really more amazing on Thursday when they were fresh, but it's still so good.
So everything over here is off, and just, it's good.
All right. So,
it's pink.
I always come to approach things from the perspective of healing. So, whereas intermittent fasting is concerned, it's kind of like the same as you approach your yoga mat. It's all about your perspective.
So everything's off.
Oh, everything's off.
So while we're talking, everything is just still cooking, but off.
Okay. So it'll finish in there?
Yep.
Perfect. So it's the perspective. So when you approach your yoga mat, I had a guy, he was a pastor, PTSD. I met him at Launchpad 2020 Kingdom Builders. And he goes, well, I do yoga every day. And I said, and he's talked about stretching or something. And I gave them her perspective. I'm like, yoga has nothing to do about being flexible, okay? Yoga is a mind-body connection, the breast, the bridge. And he was like, everything is perspective and how you approach it. So, when you approach intermittent fasting from the standpoint of it's going to, from healing, let my body do its job, because it's self-healing, then you don't get into that
starving.
But also just the it's a fad or it's a, no.
It's really not. Because
No.
there are no proven scientific facts to show that intermittent fasting helps you lose weight. But I've noticed, because I practiced it for so long, bloat, and it's just like you say with perspective. If you think about it, your body needs to react to what you're doing to it. So, you know, if you're putting all of these things in, you know, you're not giving your body enough time, so you're not starving, you're just allowing your body to adjust to the right things.
Right.
And it's how you look at it. It's fasting. When people think fast, they're thinking, I'm starving and I'm not going to be able to eat. But it's not the point of not being able to. It's just the point of healing your body and allowing your body the time to process. Like with dairy, we don't really need dairy. Like we need dairy when we're babies to grow up, because if you think about it, and Jim will tell you this too, it's so funny. Cows drink all the milk. Baby calves drink milk to grow up to be a big cow. So we don't really need it. You know, we need it when we're babies to supply us with the calcium that we need to grow up. But once you're grown up, we don't really need it. So if you think about it, because I don't even buy milk. In my opinion, there's so many things that we don't need. And if God made it, eat it. That's how I've always looked at it. If it came from the earth, eat it. If it comes in a package, not like this, but like you know, like Little Debbie's and things. Those things have been so processed. And when you put something in your body that's already processed, your body's like, what do I do with it? So it holds on to it, and we hold everything right here. So when you go to the grocery and you're shopping the middle aisles, it's going to hang on to your middle.
It's inflammation, right?
Everything is inflammation.
Because your body's doing its job and that's what inflammation is. It's an immune response, right? Your immune job's doing its job. You got the inflammation. And so it's like, this isn't supposed to be here. Like, my body doesn't like anything fake.
Every ache, every pain that's in your body is inflammation. Acne is inflammation. And it's your body's reaction to get things out.
And intermittent fasting decreases the inflammation. Okay, carry on. This one apparently needs to go outside.
Everything's still cooking, but I think the biggest thing with intermittent fasting, you always want to break a fast with water every time. So my daily routine, I wake up, I chug whatever water, and I keep my water room temperature so I can drink it faster in the morning.
Not wine?
But I drink all of this water so I can have all the wine. But my daily routine, I chug the water in the morning. I have at least this before I have my coffee. So I have water.
Me too.
And I have coffee, and I start my morning with fat. So I have a teaspoon of coconut oil in my coffee every morning. And then my first meal won't be until after my workout.
Okay, I don't do anything in my coffee.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's just my preference. I just like it.
So does that break your fast? The fat?
I don't know.
Like, I was just like, I don't do it because I don't know. Like,
well,
the way
and
there's find out is do the blood sugar.
And see, there's different. There's some people call it dirty fasting. Some people, you know, it just depends what you're going for and you know, what results. I do the fat because it keeps me satisfied until after my workout. If you're not working out in the morning,
fuel.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you're not working out in the morning, then don't worry about it. So people just do water. When I'm doing a strict fast, I only do water and only black coffee. None of the flavored pods from Keurig, none of that. I just do water and just black coffee. But I'm not strict all the time. So, and then my first meal, because I've already had my fat, my first meal consists of vegetables, carbs, and protein. And then that won't be until like 1 o'clock. And then my next meal is all my macros: protein, carb, fat, veggie, for three more meals. So I have 4 meals a day. Workout days, I have a post-workout shake.
Okay, and she's disciplined it. She brought her own food to the retreat.
I had legit 10 containers.
Yeah, it's all done. So
yeah, everything's done.
Okay.
So we can get it out.
All right. So plates. Plate it up. Okay. Thank you, Wendy, for the paper plates you left at my house. Okay, we're using I'm Thankful. What are your suggestions with medications when you are fasting?
It depends. So my husband takes a thyroid medicine, and he can't have anything with it. Check on the timing. If you have to take it at a certain time, just plan it around your meal.
Yeah, and is it
Yeah.
one that you can just back up to your first meal?
Yeah.
I think my Aunt Lynn, she said she has medication. She's like, yeah, I could just back it up to my first meal. I'm like, well, there you go.
Okay, so let's portions real quick. So everybody needs different. What works for me is not going to work for everybody. I work out a lot.
You didn't notice the
I eat everything measured, so I'm getting all of my fuel in throughout the day. But everybody's different. A 300-pound man is going to need more than me. So portions is super easy. Protein is the palm of your hand, not including your fingers. So this is protein here. Protein. Carbs is the whole palm. And then fat is your thumb. And you know, this is just like a guide. So obviously you can't measure an oil with your thumb. But like an avocado, this would be like
Your nails are
quarter.
nice.
Thanks. This would be like a quarter of an avocado. Just like a general idea of what your portion should be. If you go to a restaurant, you get a chicken breast that is probably the size of your palm or bigger as a serving size. So that, when you go to a restaurant, you get a chicken breast that is this big. That's 2 servings of protein. So cut it in half. Your carbs, which is like your veggies, would be the size of your palm. And in my opinion, carbs, if you're doing like a potato, eat the potato. But don't add anything else to it. Eat a half a potato. And your vegetables, you can never have too many vegetables. A vegetable is a vegetable. Green vegetables are more fiber. And then, you know, when you go to a restaurant, they cook with fat. So there's no reason to have your dressings on the side. You don't have to add the fat in restaurants because they cook with enough. I think that's it.
Okay. Bam!
Salmon is steaming. Salmon skin is bomb, people, so just eat it.
Eat the skin.
Yes, eat the skin.
Because that's where the fat is.
That's where the fat is. And it's my favorite.
There you go.
So let's get a plate.
That's where the fat is, y'all.
There it is.
Okay, there's our plate.
Plate.
Ooh, I'm excited.
It's already pre-portioned. And the skin is still on. It didn't even stick to the foil, y'all. So can they see it? Steamy salmon. There. And again, we don't need to add fat to this because the salmon's got the fat in the skin. And just when you're like, and this is how I practice at home. When you're portioning your food out, get 2 scoops of vegetables. 1 scoop of rice, 2 scoops of vegetables.
Mmm. There's carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower. 2 scoops vegetables, 1 scoop of rice.
So, that's it. You've got protein and fat here in your salmon for the skin. And there was a little bit of fat added because we sprayed. 2 scoops of vegetables, 1 scoop of rice.
Okay.
It's hot.
Is there anything in the rice?
No. Just water.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Woo!
hot.
All right, here we go. Now, how long did it take us?
How long you set that timer?
It was like 20 minutes. Are you not eating?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Let's go. All right,
Not
let me
fast.
ask one thing.
Yes.
If they wanted to spice up their rice a little bit.
Garlic. Garlic powder, not garlic salt. I like to put cilantro in mine after it's done.
Oh yeah, like they do at Chipotle.
With a squeeze of lime. Yep. So when it's done, like when I leave it on the stove just to fester in its steam, I'll take it off of the heat and I'll fluff it up and put cilantro. You can put anything in it. I could have put the Italian seasoning in it.
Guess what you have for dinner tonight, Kurt Tucker? So, hey, like and share this video. That was super simple and easy.